Hi and welcome to another Wednesday with Wilna, which is actually on Thursday today. And I'm showing you 3 layouts today that I created for Pink Fresh Studio, and I filmed them all, and the title of this video is Don't Think About It, Just Do It. So I'm going to show you really how I made these pages, and honestly, cross my heart, I didn't even plan a thing. I picked up this beautiful paper with the circles and the patterns, and I thought to myself, I'll make a row of circles. So I started to cut them out. At first I wanted to punch it, but the circles were a little too big and I wanted the full size circle. So I'm just speeding up the video really quick, and I just decided to go with the colors that I like the best, and lots of patterns, because the patterns on this Up in the Clouds paper is absolutely gorgeous. So once that was done, I decided to add those little pieces of fabric that was printed with circles and flourishes and the flare, and I just added it here and there. So actually I didn't need to cut as many circles, but as I said, I'm going with the flow, so I didn't plan anything at all. And then one of my tried and tested techniques, and I'll be doing this a lot, and I don't apologize for it because I just absolutely love it. It's like those fabulous pair of boots that you just love, and you just want to wear it with every single outfit, and you don't apologize for wearing it over and over again. That's how I feel about using rub-ons and paint or gelatos. So I'm going to do it in this layout and in the next layout, but with a different flair. So I'm just cutting up the rub-on sheet, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the colors and the mint and pink and gold. It's almost like it was made for me personally, because just I love it so much. I'm just placing the sheet. You can see I'm cutting it up and just placing it behind the just to see where do I want to rub it down, and then not overthinking it, just starting to rub it down. And these rub-ons go down so easily. It's just a pleasure to work with. So after I'm finished with this, I decided to add watercolors, but the watercolors are not opaque enough. They're too transparent, too light. So I decided to bring out the big guns in watercolor, also known as the tubes. I just love those little tubes. They are absolutely jam-packed with color, and I'm going to be painting with pink. So I have a pink that I bought, and you can see in the related products on my blog, I listed some watercolor tubes, and I actually have those and they work wonderful. You can see I'm mixing in some Chinese white as well. It's a rose, it's the color of the pink, and I'm just adding some white just to get that lovely creamy look. And now I'm going to be painting, but right there I realized, I want a bigger brush. So I have a lovely white soft brush. You can see how big it is. And now you're just going to paint over the rub-ons. And you can see how the rub-ons are resisting the paint, which is absolutely lovely. Now the trick is, when you paint, is to be very sparse with your brush strokes. Don't overdo it. You can see on the far side, on the right side, how you can see the paint brush stroke, and that's exactly what I was aiming for. So now I'm just putting everything together like Humpty Dumpty, and then I'm going to just add my journaling and mount it on a background, and there you go, there your page is done. And how's funny, funny, it's not really funny, this is not a funny page, but how fun it is to make, how simple it is. You can see I dried it with my heat embossing tool, and that's a wonderful way to dry watercolors. So that's a great idea. So there you go. And now I'm just going to add the title, which is a lovely little wood veneer embellishment that Pinkfresh make. And the photo with, I love photo corners. You can buy them at Michael's. Just ask them, the staff, they will direct you to the aisle with the photo corners, and you get them in craft color, beige or cream and white, and I love the white ones. There you go. This is probably one of my favorite pages. I just love that pink. It just absolutely makes it such a happy page. And there you can see the title, which is the wood veneer. Isn't that lovely? And I'm picking one, and I'm just going to see where I want to add it on my layout. And that's how simple it is. That can work there, but then I decided right there, why not? So there you go. And that's probably the color I'm going to mount it on. And now I'm on to my next layout. So this is a beautiful paper, also by Up in the Clouds, the collection from Pinkfresh Studio. And I decided to go against my grain and just use the pattern paper just like that, like put the photo there and work around it. And then of course that's the little masks that I made for them. I designed them. But then of course I decided, no, let's do half and half. So I wasn't brave enough to use the whole paper just as it is. But you'll see how it almost looked like I did. So I'm just cutting off the little strip, and now I'm just trimming it to approximately 6 inches with my Teresa Collins paper trimmer, which I love. And now I'm just going to adhere it. At this stage, I really don't know where this is going. I don't know. I didn't plan it out. I didn't really think about it too much. And then I decided to add the gold rub-ons, also from Pinkfresh Studio. All the products are from them. How lovely. And I'm just going to cut the sheet in half, more or less, because I wanted to rub it down in the middle of the layout. Like that. And again, it rubs down lovely. It was so easy to do. And usually rub-ons has a hard time on textured cardstock, like this American Craft heavyweight cardstock. It's my favorite. It's hard to rub down rub-ons on it because the texture makes it, I don't know, it doesn't look as good. But it doesn't matter for these ones. I'm not too concerned if it doesn't rub off perfectly. It's just for texture and some artistic elements. So that's the reason why. And now I'm bringing out my gelatos, and I'm going to copy the color of the paper here and there. You can see the color on the paper is almost like an apricot, and I'm just adding it with a little bit of water. I'm just spreading it out a little. So it's almost like I'm blending the paper into the white background. So I'm adding a little mint, and this is what I love about this big set of gelatos, is there's a couple of colors that you can't buy by themselves, like that mint, which is absolutely beautiful. So now I'm thinking, and I decided, no, I think that's enough. So again, to learn to stop when before it's too much. It's actually an art that it's a skill, not an art, a skill that you teach yourself. So now I'm cutting out the little birds, and I thought they are so cute and I want to use them on my layout. So I decided to, like I've said, just cut out that little bird and the other one as well. And I'm just cutting it out with a little bit of a white border. You can see in a second. Sorry, I'm cutting off camera. But I'm cutting with my little bee scissors that I bought. I'm so happy I bought those. I'm adding that little bird with hot glue. And I'm positioning my photograph also again with so it's not 100% dry, and you really want it to be dry, otherwise it's just better when it's 100% dry. Just with a little bit of hot glue, and I'm adding the photo again with photo corners, and then I'm going to finish it, the layout. But I want to mount it because sometimes the water makes the paper crinkle, and this is how I stretch it out. So I just add a bunch of adhesive on a background paper, and then I just use a paper towel to smooth it out. And I'm using a paper towel because I don't want to get my hands, if there's a little bit of debris left from the gelatos, then I don't want to smear it all over the layout. So there you go, lifting up its little legs. And now I'm just putting the picture slapdash in the middle, which is actually quite unusual for me. I love the rule of thirds, but in this case it works like a charm. And now I'm cutting out the other bird, and I think this inspired me. I want to make a whole sheet of birds for iHeartStudio, so be on the lookout for that. I think I want to do it sooner than later. It's just such a lovely design element to use. So I think I want to do some doodles with birds, and that you can do exactly what I'm doing here with. So I'm cutting out the hearts as well. I'm adding a little bit of hot glue, and I'm tugging in the little string underneath the photo so it won't stand up. And then I'm doing it with the other heart as well. So in finishing the layout, I was looking at it and I thought I want to add a title, but I want something that's really bold and black. I don't know why, but I just want it. So I'm looking, I decided to add Thickers by Amy Tangerine. I'm just adding a couple of embellishments, the bubble puffy stickers, just here and there. And again, and here you can see not yet, there. You can see I'm going to add the lovely black. Now, the word that I chose, I'm just going to use this, because sometimes we say this, like there's nothing else, just this. And that's what I meant by just adding the this there. Right, and on to the last layout. So I created a couple of masks or stencils for them, for Pinkfresh Studio, and I'm going to just use some adhesive spray and mount them to a little 3x4 Project Life card. And the reason why I just love to use some adhesive sprays just to keep them down properly when you spray. Now, I'm going to show you what not to do. Okay, so watch carefully how I make a mess over my whole freaking table. I'm using the Studio Calico Mr. Uis, and I wanted to work with yellow because I just felt after so much pinks and blues, I wanted to make a layout that's just a lot of yellow. So I rummaged through my kit, and this is what I got. Beautiful yellow, and you can see if you remove it how good it just missed it. So that's lovely. But now on the second one, I used a different color. I didn't taste the bottle, just into a bin. Okay, and there you go. I sprayed some over my whole thing. So I just want to say something. When you mist a stencil, it has to be perpendicular from the top, right, like a straight line from top to bottom on your layout. If you mist at an angle, you will spray underneath the stencil. You don't want that. So, and taste your bottle before you mist. So I decided to use the actual stencil, and I adhered it with hot glue on a Project Life card. And then next to it is the one that I misted. So it's like the positive and the negative. And I decided to just use a touch of hot glue, because if I change my mind and at some stage I want the stencil back to use it on a layout, I can just pop it off. Okay, so I don't know, it's weird. It's like storage for your little stencils, but it's also part of the layout. So that is what I was thinking. Right, so I was looking specifically for a black and white photograph for this layout, because I'm working with bright yellow, and I thought the black and white would be a nice pop with it. So that's why whenever I do photographs, I always make sure that I have enough black and white ones as well, because I love to work in colors and colorful ways. That's why black and white is for sure a favorite with me. Photographs is a favorite to use. I'm just diving into their little embellishments, and I'm just organizing the embellishments in a way that that's fun. But this is a very more formal type of layout. I love grids, and I love that formal look. So that's why I'm doing it. Okay, and I'm going to paint again. So I'm using the little tubes of watercolor, and this time just in yellow. You can see I'm mixing in some white again, and I'm using my broad brush, and I'm just doing literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strokes, and that's it. And now I'm just going to dry it, and you can see I'm only painting on one side of the layout, because I didn't want to paint yellow underneath the yellow cards. So this is just to offset it a little bit. Right, I just dabbed it with a paper towel to make sure that it's 100% dry. And I'm just laying down my elements. You can see I switched the yellow card to the outer part, just to balance the yellow stripe on the right. So that's just a cool idea. And I'm forwarding it really quickly just to show you adding photo corners to this black and white photo, touch of hot glue to the embellishments, and just sticking everything down, and then the fun part starts. So what I'm going to do is I really wanted to use a puffy sticker there, and another wood veneer, and now I'm just going to add black paint splatters. So I'm covering the photograph with a piece of paper, and I'm holding my big brush just 90 degrees above the layout, and just drop the splatters. And I think that those, sorry, I'm so tongue-tied. What is up with me? I think those black splatters just makes the layout pop a little bit, and you'll see at the end I'm adding a black title as well, and I think that's just lovely. So there's these little hearts in the embellishment kit, and I'm just adding those with a little bit of hot glue here and there, and you can see I'm just dabbing a dot of hot glue. And yes, there was for sure a lot of little strings, but once everything is dry, it's easy to just do what I'm doing there to get rid of them. So I'm going to forward this part of the video as well, because you can see it's just doing the same thing over and over again. I really think in some cases that excess makes a statement, and that's why I decided to add as many of these little hearts as possible. I think they make the layout a little bit more girly and fascinating to look at. So that's just what I was thinking there. So I'm drying the black paint drops. Make sure that you don't smear them all over your layout. And once they are dry, I added my title. So I used the black foam of of Amy Tangerine's collection. So I just love those words. I think Cal Barteschi wrote them. So yeah, just removing those little strings. And even that paper is so pretty. I think you can do so many beautiful things with these up in the clouds papers. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to add the word darling. Such an English word, darling, but to me she's a real darling, and a lot of people think that of Tia. So now I'm looking for where do I put it, and for some reason just there felt right. I should have moved it up just a tiny bit so that I could see the wood veneer words, but I only thought about that later on. And the polka dots on the back of that paper just looked lovely to use as the mounting for this layout. So I'm going to forward this part of the video again really quick, because basically all I'm doing is trimming the paper and mounting it. So I'm going to mount all three of the layouts quickly. And that, my friends, is how you make 3 layouts without even thinking. Just do it. What I love about the Teresa Collins paper trimmer is that there's a little line. If you align your paper with it, it cuts off that little strip, so you don't have to eyeball it. You can just mount it or cut it. So that's nice. And you can see in the final layouts where I added my journaling, which is totally meaningful to me in the sense. So yeah, I'm just cutting off about half an inch on either side, and then you can see I'm lining it up with one of the lines. There you go. And I think this paper as a mount also worked wonderful. It, because of the pattern on one side but the light on the other side. There you can see a quick detail of every little piece, and then again just quickly mounting it. I love to mount my layouts. I think it's a nice way to finish it off, and I really wish I had more of these papers. So I'm not sure exactly where you can buy them, but keep on checking Pinkfresh Studio's website. I'm sure she'll share where to find them. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments of which layout was your favorite, and I would love to see your layouts. So share it with me on Instagram with the Art Class with Wilna hashtag. Bye bye.